You've got a good background.
Yeah, I have some posters from the Emmy Awards I've attended.
All I have is Brooklyn.
So, Denis O'Hare, American Horror Story Coven, you played one of the creepiest characters we've seen on television.
Thank
Spalding
you.
was, for those that haven't seen, Spalding was this character who ripped his own tongue out decades ago. He had a fascination with collecting dolls and collecting dead bodies in his toy chests. When you first heard that you were going to play such a creepy character, were you kind of disgusted or were you just elated?
I was thrilled. Come on. I was shooting The Normal Heart with Ryan Murphy, and we were on the set, and he walks by and he goes, I have a really weird part for you in American Horror Story. You're not going to want to do it. And he walked away. And I was like, oh my God, what? And so I cornered him about an hour later, and I said, so what's the part? And he goes, oh, it's really weird. You're not going to want to do it. You're going to play Jessica Lange's henchman who has no tongue. He doesn't speak. He may speak later, but he doesn't speak for like the first 6 episodes. And you collect dolls and you serve them tea up in your attic room. And I was like, I'm totally in. I'm totally in.
And we talked to Emma Roberts like a month ago about that scene where you're keeping her character's dead body in the toy chest, and
Yeah.
you pull her out and you rip her arm off. What was it like filming that scene? Because that's one of the most talked about scenes of the season.
It's crazy because, it's a weird scene for so many reasons, and the writers and I disagreed about what his intent was. They had a more salacious point of view about Spalding, but I think Spalding was actually a virgin, and I think he actually was in love with Emma's character, but wasn't going to violate her. He just wanted to be with her and hold her and dance with her and maybe talk to her. Maybe as they get to know each other, something might happen, but nothing is going to happen that first, 2 months. Doing that scene was bizarre because it was a technical challenge. Her arm was attached by this weird mechanism on her body, and her real arm was tucked underneath, incredibly uncomfortable. And I had to sort of get her out and try to pick up her arm, and then it came off. And it's also, the brilliance of Ryan Murphy is that his tone is exact. And so it's funny, it's horrifying, it's sincere, it's a little bit on the satirical side, but as an actor playing it, you play everything straight. Everything has to come straight. Spalding is genuinely horrified at that moment and does not know what to do with the arm in his hand.
What were the biggest challenges of playing scenes without any dialogue?
Not getting stepped on. I was really quiet. I didn't speak on set. Once I began speaking in the script, I spoke on set. But for the first 2 months, when I landed on set, I did not speak. And so it made it very difficult to kind of just navigate. People would sort of walk into me, they'd walk around me. I was like wallpaper. I would just stand there like this in my little corner, and people would not notice me. People wouldn't ask me things. They would break for lunch and not tell me because it was kind of like, I was a gargoyle in the corner. And it became difficult if I had to talk to a director. And I remember one of our directors, Jeremy Podejwa, who's fantastic, came on the set, and I, of course, he wanted to have a conversation. I just kept going. And I would say, I wouldn't mind, because the thing about being silent all the time is you realize that you stop trying to communicate in words. So you communicate in grand ideas. And so it's more like sign language or facial sign language. After a while, someone would say, so I think Spalding should enter and stand behind the doorway, and I would go, oh, you don't want to do that? And I would go, and I was just kind of like, it's not even pantomime. It's a weird way of kind of just expressing yourself through body position. It was great. I had the best time. I loved it.
And of course, working with all those fantastic ladies this season: Jessica Lange, Angela Bassett, Kathy Bates, Sarah Paulson. I could go on and on and on. It
Franny
really was.
Conroy, Lily Rabe,
It was,
Thaisa.
yeah. I mean, sometimes you and Evan Peters would be, the only guys in the episode, and I don't even think you both appeared in every episode. So, Being
And
with all
also,
the,
he didn't speak either.
that's true.
What does that say?
Yeah. It was a really great year for women on TV with that and
Yeah,
Orange is the New Black. Those shows really, really were making a statement, I think, and it was a good statement to make.
yeah, I agree. I agree. That being said, actors are actors, and I had the best time with Kathy Bates, hanging out with her. We had our scenes in the attic. We had just a magnificent day. I love working with Jessica, always have, and I love any chance to get to have a scene with her because she always makes every scene, it kind of gets elevated into something else. I only had a little bit with Angela. I wish I had more. She's such a doll. I love working with Gabby. We also had a great time. She was torturing me. That was lots of fun. But she was funny. She was torturing me during one scene, and off camera, I would like jab her in the thigh, and if she would get infuriated, and so on camera, she would take it out on me. I was trying to help her out a little bit.
And next season we don't know much about it, but it's called Freak Show, and I think your character is going to be kind of like a collector of freaks, is what I've read. I don't know if you can confirm or go into a little more detail about your character next season.
The one thing I'll say about Ryan is that even if he tells us something, it doesn't always come out the same way. So if I told you right now what he told me, it may not make any difference. By the time we get there, everything will have changed. I know I'm in it. I know that I'm definitely. I don't think I'm going to be misshapen. I don't think I'm going to have any sort of obvious defect, which is new for me.
Right, that's true. And Sarah Paulson just tweeted that she's going to be, Siamese twins, so she'll have two heads. Does that mean she's eligible for 2 Emmys next year?
And she gets paid twice as much. And if you believe that.
And you were nominated for the first season for playing Larry at the Emmys. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What do you remember about the Emmy night? Did you go into the Emmy night thinking, I have this, I'm going to win? Or did you kind of like sit back and relax and just kind of enjoy the moment?
I assumed I wouldn't win, mostly because it's a complicated venue, the Emmys, and it wasn't that I'd held out hope here and there that maybe I'll win, but I felt like the dark horse, so I wasn't completely surprised when I didn't win. So I made sure that I visited all the free shopping areas downstairs during the boring bits. When they were doing reality TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
I left and went downstairs and shopped with my friend Erica Faye, and that was a lot of fun. It's great because I must say actors in general tend to be really fun people and nice people, and the community of actors is surprisingly generous and tight. And so I was just running into old friends all night, and I was able to wave to them and have little conversations, and I really love that part of it.
And that was the night that Jessica Lange won for season 1. And then,
Yes.
Last year, season 2, James Cromwell won. So it seems like once a year, someone from the cast is winning. And we do a lot of like Emmy analysis here at Gold Derby, and we've noticed over the years that like horror shows, they usually don't get nominated.
I know.
Sci-fi shows don't, but now American Horror Story is getting nominated, and Game of Thrones is getting nominated.
Yeah.
And True Blood, and I think season 2 or 3 got nominated for Best Drama Series. So there is a shift now. The Emmy voters are embracing other shows like this, and that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're tired of things like, I don't know, cop shows and, I don't know, smoking on TV. We won't name that show.
Right. And another, kind of pivotal role for your career, I would say, would be Russell Edgington on True Blood. And with that show winding down this summer, I guess, is the last season. Are you thinking at all your time on that show? It was such a popular character that you played.
I had a great time. I'm in touch with a lot of those guys, and we just had a whole series of emails going around. We were all lamenting the fact that it's over. A lot of the writers, Mishka, Michelle Forbes, Kristen Bauer, who plays Pam. I was talking to Stephen Moyer last week and talking about winding it down. I'm friends with him and Anna, and it was one of the best shows that I ever got the chance to work on. I do feel like it's been unfortunate that it hasn't got the kind of critical praise it deserved, mostly because I don't think people knew what to do with it. It's funny. It's some people say campy, which I don't agree with. But it dealt with issues in a really hard-hitting way. And like any show, I think that over time it begins to play out its original premises, and it's hard to keep the freshness of an original premise. But, you know, certainly at the beginning and for the first 3 or 4 seasons, I thought it was one of the more risk-taking, daring shows on TV, whether it be what it was doing with actual big set battles and special effects, or just nudity. You know, sex scenes we've never seen before. I mean, now Game of Thrones has out-sexed everybody to the point where I'm like, oh, a rape scene. Oh, you know, but
I heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true, but President Obama, during one of his press conferences, said, "Did you guys see True Blood last night?" And it was the one where Russell rips out the heart of the guy, the newscaster on live TV. Did you hear that story?
Yeah, no, the way I heard the story was Anna and Stephen had gone to the annual press dinner, and they sat with one of the speechwriters, and apparently the speechwriters told them, this is now fifth hand, that he came into a meeting the next morning, possibly even a cabinet meeting, which I think is better if it's a cabinet meeting and there's, you know, there's a Secretary of Defense and there's, you know, Education and Labor, and he says, "Did anybody see what Russell did on TV last night?" Which I think is just like fantastic. The idea that the president is watching our show and actually knows a character I play by name is just plain freaky. But, you know, they watch TV too.
Right. Any chance Russell will appear as like in a flashback or a vision or anything in the final season, or is he's done?
He's done. You know, I had an Aunt Nellie, and she died at 96, and she was an amazing, amazing woman. And she always came to our house, and she would stay with us for only 3 days. And we were always like, "Nellie, why are you leaving?" And she said, "Darling, leave while you're wanted." That's how I feel about Russell.
Mm-hmm. And so you were not in season 2 of American Horror Story. Is that because of the True Blood conflict? Were you filming both were filming at the same time?
You know, I think it was I had a couple of conflicts myself. They actually offered me a part, and I couldn't do it because I was filming in Morocco, and I would love to have done it. But Ryan also is unique in that he writes for the specific story and then the specific actor. So it's not like he's going to give an actor a big part just because the actor worked last year. What does the story ask for? What is the requirement this year? I'm not sure that there was a place for me in that season. Jamie Cromwell is a fantastic actor. I'm not sure I could have done that role. You know, Zach Quinto is an amazing actor. I don't think I could have done any better than he did. I think he was perfect for that part. So I don't really see where I could have been in that season. Joseph Fiennes, you know, again, I'm not pretty enough to play that role. So in a way, we all trust Ryan to use us in the way that's best for us. And so far, I feel he used me beautifully in season 1 and beautifully in season 3. So I really trust him where he's going to go. I really do. And I love season 2, by the way. I thought it was extraordinary.
Yeah, and Sarah Paulson said that that was her favorite season. She also said this is the best role on TV because you get to play a different character every year.
Yeah.
If you happen to get bored with your character, you know, next year it'll be something totally different.
It's also, you know, as an actor, keeping you on your toes. You can't get complacent. You can't settle in and sort of coast. Every time you come back to this job, they're throwing a whole new set of stuff at you, and you're scrambling. I mean, we don't find our feet in these characters for 3 or 4 episodes in, and then it's done. And even then, you know, I mean, I'll never forget Ryan. Season 1, I got the pilot, and Larry had a monologue about how he killed his family. None of it was true. It was all a lie. I didn't know that. I didn't know till episode 7 that I was lying. So we never know what's going on. You know, Thaisa didn't know that she was dead in season 1 until 2 episodes after she was dead. So that always happens with us. It's kind of fun. You know, we don't know where the characters are going. Spalding, I had no idea where he was heading. I had no idea. When I read the episode where he was dead, I was like, what? I'm dead? Oh my God, am I finished? I had no idea.
And you also don't want to know, right? It's kind of fun learning as the audience learns week to week.
Yeah, and it also informs the way we play things. We don't telegraph things. We don't try to be cute and wink at the audience because we honestly don't know where we're headed. For instance, think about last year. Who's going to be the new Supreme? No one knew. No one knew. and the characters didn't know. So it was brilliant. It was perfect.
And we have a fan question. Misty wants to know, besides your roles on True Blood and American Horror Story, what roles from your career do fans most want to talk to you about or congratulate you for? What do you get recognized for the most? I think she's asking.
You know, it's mostly True Blood and American Horror Story, but I also played Judge Abernathy on The Good Wife. He's a really kind of loopy, wonderfully cerebral, very liberal judge, and people love that character. I love that character so much. So that's one of them. I also did a play called Take Me Out on Broadway back in 2003, 2002, and a lot of folks know me from that play. We did it on Broadway, 900 seats a night, but it ran for a year, and a lot of people came and saw it. And theater goers in New York will tend to know me because they'll see me in various things. But that and Garden State, I played Albert, the guy in the boat near the end of the movie, and for some reason that sticks out in people's minds, which is fantastic.
Any chance you'll be popping up on Good Wife next season? That show had such a revolutionary season 5. Everyone was talking about.
I know. It was fantastic. You know, I hope so. They called me twice to come in, and I couldn't do it. Both times I had a conflict, and then I called them and said, I'm free, and they were like, oh, we can't fit you in. So we're trying to figure it out for next year, and I hope I can do at least 1 or 2 because I love that cast and crew. So sorry Josh Charles is gone, and I just love the way that the writers work. I love the way the whole show feels.
And now switching gears to The Normal Heart, you appeared in that. It wasn't a very big role, but still, what was it about? You know, being with all the, I guess American Horror Story, you were with all the girls. Normal Heart is with all the guys, but still Ryan Murphy, directed that. What's it like working with him on that project?
That was a very special project, partly because I'm old enough to have been a young guy when AIDS first was rearing its ugly head, and so I personally was part of the whole fear of what it was, what HIV was, and what it was doing to us. My boyfriend died in 2000 of AIDS, so I'm intimately involved with it. I have many friends who are HIV positive for a long time. And the play itself, I actually did in 1987. I played Ned Weeks. And then I was meant to do the Broadway version and couldn't do it. So I feel kind of intimately involved with the play. I know Larry Kramer. And then filming it in New York with so many New York actors, Stephen Spinella, B.D. Wong. I know Jim Parsons. He's a fantastic guy. I love Mark Ruffalo. It was just fun. We actually had a great time working together for such a dire subject. It was a real actor's playground. Fantastic actors, fantastic material. Ryan trusts us all. He lets us do what we want to do. He's a fantastic director that way.
And one of the great things that the Emmys did this year, they're separating the movie from the miniseries. So The Normal Heart could win Best Movie, and American Horror Story could win Best Miniseries. You could be on 2 Emmy-winning shows this year.
You heard it here, folks. There you go. That's the prediction. Over. Done. Go home.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Oh, I didn't mean it literally. Sorry.
No. That was actually the last question I had, and it was a great way to end it. But yeah, good luck at the Emmys, and good luck with whatever comes next with your career. I guess it would be a Freak Show.
Freak Show, and I've written a one-man show based on Homer's Iliad, which I do in various places. We did it in Australia, New Zealand. I've done it in L.A. I'm going to do it in New Orleans actually this fall, and then I'm writing a new play with my co-writer Lisa Peterson, a play about the Bible. So,
nice.
Stay tuned.
Awesome. Have a good day.
Thanks. Nice to meet you, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.